coming up on Nittany Game Week. The search is over. Penn State finds their guy, and it's former Iowa State head coach Matt Campbell.
The flash of the stars, that's cool on signing day. But winning football games on Saturday is what we're going to be about.
The three-time Big 12 Coach of the Year is ready for the championship expectations in Happy Valley. Why player development is so important in his program.
Felt like he was the right leadership at the time, and I wanted to stay a part of it.
He's not leaving. A lot of PSU fans rejoice at the news that Terry Smith signs a multiple-year deal to be a top assistant on the new staff. The way he helps Matt Campbell move things forward quickly. This is Nittany Game Week.
It's been a whirlwind. I'm going to say this. I'm humbled, honored, grateful to be standing before all of you, this world-class university, this world-class athletic department, and truly one of the greatest football programs in the world. And it's an absolute honor to be the next head football coach here at Penn State University.
New Penn State head coach Matt Campbell, overcome with emotion several times during his introductory press conference. The three-time Big 12 Conference Coach of the Year at Iowa State is ready to lead the blue and white in the Big Ten. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nittany Game Week. I'm Todd Sadowski, alongside former Nittany Lions assistant coach Jay Paterno. Tom Bradley joins us in just a moment. The search concludes after 8 weeks. Former Cyclones head coach and Ohio native Matt Campbell comes back a little closer to home to take over in Happy Valley.
Well, he may be an Ohio native, but his grandparents were from Carmichael's, Pennsylvania, so he stressed that. So we'll take him. I think it's an exciting time, and everybody should be looking forward to what comes next.
And joining us now from his home in Pittsburgh is former PSU defensive coordinator Tom Bradley. Tom, Matt Campbell played his freshman year at Pitt. He then went on to be an All-American defensive end at Division III Mount Union College, where they won 3 national championships. So he brings a tough-minded winning mentality to his new position.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's very important, and he's going to beat in the Big Ten. As you know, there are games you have to win. You're going to have to out-tough some people, and you're going to have to play some great defense along the way.
He is new to State College. Matt Campbell earned a degree in history, and he's well aware of the winning tradition at PSU. Why player development is so crucial to his culture and where Coach Terry Smith fits into the equation moving forward in our opening drive. 2017, 2018, 2020. Big 12 Conference Coach of the Year, 3 out of 4 seasons. Coach Campbell set the bar higher than it's ever been at Iowa State, and he's done it by recognizing talent and developing it so that players in his program reach their potential, Jay.
I think what you're looking at is a guy that's going to bring high school talent in, develop it over time. We'll talk about that, especially the quarterback position, but also augment it with guys here and there in the portal. And I think if you look at most of the programs that are having great success right now the last 3 years, that's how they've done it. And that's been the way he's done it at Iowa State. Now, he starts from a higher platform to spring forward, and I think that's why people are excited about this hire.
And Tom, a lot of coaches talk about player development. Not all of them can do it effectively. What are some of the keys to maximizing a player's potential while they are in your program?
Well, first of all, it's understanding what their potential is. You know, how far can you take them? How far can you push them? And I think that's the part, you know, sometimes you don't want to, and Jay knows this, you don't want to be too fast. You got to go at the right tempo for each person. I think it's understanding, you know, what they can accomplish and getting them to buy into what they can accomplish.
Of course, recruiting is a huge part of the job for Coach Campbell and his staff. What you do with the players once they are in the program is what really matters.
Nobody will be better at developing their student athletes and our high school football players better than us. We've proven that every step of the way. I think you can ask Brock Purdy, Breece Hall, David Montgomery, Will McDonald. Man, the flash of the stars, that's cool on signing day. But winning football games on Saturday is what we're going to be about, and that's development. And we're going to have to be better than anybody in college football if we want to get where we want to go.
No one is shying away from the lofty expectations. Coach Campbell's first priority is to get to know the current players on the team.
Another one of his top priorities, then this will certainly help him getting to know the guys, is keeping Terry Smith at Penn State. He got a new multi-year contract there, Tom. And how important is that going to be for Penn State?
Well, I think it's going to be very, very important to Penn State. I mean, Terry's been around these guys, understands what it takes to play at Penn State. He's been there. He's been through it himself personally, and plus he can help all the new coaches, not just the head coach, but all the other people around him understand each player a little bit better, maybe.
That's a good point, Tom. They already know each other. Coach Campbell mentioned the times he would recruit Coach Smith's players at Gateway High School, Jay. How can he help Coach Campbell not only in the transition, but moving forward in that regard?
Well, certainly Terry's got a lot of contacts around the state recruiting from his time here. And within that footprint, that Matt kept emphasizing that footprint around our campus and the number of really good football players there. And Terry will be a key to unlocking a lot of those guys.
A new 4-year deal for Terry Smith to be the associate head coach. He's been consistent all along that his heart is in Happy Valley.
At this point in my career, I truly can only work for certain types of individuals. And, we're aligned at the point of, he's blue collar. He creates toughness, discipline, and, just the core values of what Penn State represents. And I felt like he was the right leadership at the time, and I wanted to stay a part of it. And it's worked out for my family. And obviously I'm excited that Matt is welcoming me to his staff.
Going to be a dynamic duo to lead the coaching staff as Coach Smith handles the bowl preparation while Coach Campbell works on building the roster and filling out the rest of his staff. So we continue that conversation. Coach Campbell's building relationships as fast as possible with the current Nittany Lions. They will lose a bunch of seniors, still a lot of young talent. That is part of the 3-game winning streak at the end of the regular season.
Well, ideally, you want to retain as many current players as you can because you did kind of lose that early signing day class. So it's going to be vital to keep as many of those guys as you can. Plus, you got a chance now in the next 2 weeks to evaluate them in practice and have conversations and keep them here. And that's how you're going to build for next year.
Not a lot of time before the transfer portal opens up, Tom. You can't force these things. Players usually appreciate honest conversations. They don't always like what they're told, but they usually appreciate the honesty from the head coach.
Well, they're going to appreciate it from the head coach, but the head coach has got to make sure he's getting the right information. Where's his information coming from? The other coaches, other people, administration, different people that knows this program. So he wants to make sure he's getting the right information so he makes the right decisions on what he wants to do.
A tall task in front of him. The search takes longer than expected. AD Pat Kraft feels the extra time was worth it to land the right guy for the job.
There's a lot of turns, and I appreciate the media speculating and putting things out there every step of the way that was true or not true. But we got the guy we want. We really got the guy. And the guy who's going to lead us to a national championship and bring us back to it.
As I mentioned, no pressure there. And of course, everyone wants pictures. Coach Campbell poses with Kraft and President Benaputi. Then his family comes up. Wife Erica, 2 daughters, Katie and Izzy, and 2 sons, Rudy and Rocco. Welcome, Campbell family, to State College. He has 15 years of head coaching experience at Toledo and Iowa State, which means there's plenty of tape to look at from Coach Campbell's teams. We show you some things to expect from Penn State under their new leader coming up in our scouting report. More Nittany Game Week is on the way.
The opening drive is sponsored by R&R Express. Every shipment moved contributes to autism research and inclusion through the Excel Foundation. Learn more at wearerr.com.
These are more than just trucks. Every shipment moved by the R&R Express family of companies contributes to the Excel Foundation for Autism Research and Inclusion, funding safe spaces like the sensory room at Penn State's Beaver Stadium and a special event sensory trailer, and giving thousands that were unheard a voice.
Now is the time to amplify non-speaking voices and drive meaningful change.
These trucks are powered by purpose.
Every week, our groundskeepers are meticulously mowing, painting, repairing any damage from the previous game in preparation for Saturday. Our contributions to the team are providing safe playing surfaces for the athletes to showcase their abilities on. There's a lot of history here. Being able to be a part of that has been incredibly special for me.
Nittany Game Week is brought to you by West Shore Home, official partner of Penn State Football.
Welcome back to Nittany Game Week. A head coach certainly adapts over time. Matt Campbell has 15 years of experience leading a college program, first at Toledo, then Iowa State, now for the Nittany Lions. Coach Paterno, there are also some core beliefs and strategies a coach carries with him wherever they go. You had some fun checking out Matt Campbell's work at his previous stops. What did you find out that will help our viewers and PSU fans have a better idea what to expect in 2026 and beyond?
Well, we went back not all the way to Toledo, but a good length at Iowa State his last 8 years. But let's take a look at the Matt Campbell file. First of all, 107 wins, 12 seasons of bowl eligibility in those 15 years, 4 kids. His wife, Erica, really is the one doing all the work with the kids, as it is with any coaching family. And obviously great success as Coach of the Year and certainly won national titles as a player. Let's talk about what he likes to do to stir things up. Looking back at the last 8 years of numbers at Iowa State, you're going to see a couple things. Number one, offensively, throw the ball. They run the run-pass option. Time of possession is important, almost 31 minutes per game in time of possession over those 8 years. On defense, they want to eliminate big plays. They want to win situations. They're great on third down defense over that time. They've been good at preventing touchdowns in the red zone and turnover margin. I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. We talked about RPO. When you have the mobile quarterback, the RPO becomes an issue for the defense. Here you're running the ball up front. If he likes what he sees, he hands it off. If not, he's going to work to these guys in the slants and the outside guy, and you're going to see him hit this guy right here in the slant and get a big play. And again, it puts a lot of pressure on defense, especially when they have to respect the fact that the quarterback may be a run threat to them. Here's a situation where they're thinking about a wideout screen here, and they've got guys running downfield routes. You're going to see him look over here, then look over here. He's not going to have the play. So now, is he dead in the water? No, he takes off and makes a 25-yard gain to move the chains. And that is very frustrating from a defense because from a pass route standpoint, they've got everything covered. And when they've got everything covered, he takes off. Pass game, they're very complex in some things they do pass-wise, some really good NFL concepts. You're going to see a motion here, bring him out. The back sits here. You got the tight end over the top. You got a post. But then he looks out here and says, I like what I got because I've got one-on-one with a safety that's to help late. And you'll see he does a great job. You got one-on-one that backside opposite the trips. He's going to come off the front side, and he's going to look that safety off just long enough to get that ball in there, and they go up and make a great play. Now, let's flip over to the defensive side. And what you're going to see is you're going to see a 5 defensive back concept, but these 2 guys are what we call swing guys. When the run comes this way, he can come up and support. He can come up and support whatever it happens. And then you've got linebackers under here, and you can do a lot of multiple things with them. But what I want you to notice here is we talked about turnover margin. TCU splits this thing. This corner's going to run in late and strip the ball and get a turnover. And we talk about turnovers. You're going to see turnovers in all 3 of the clips we show you. The last 3 years, they have intercepted 42 passes. They've recovered 24 fumbles, and they are plus 26 in turnover margin the last 3 years. Here again, you're going to get your swing guys over here. Here are your linebackers, and now they're going to bring these guys over here, and they're going to blitz off this edge, which is going to force this quarterback to make a decision. They're going to drop guys down, drop him back, drop him there, and now it looks like a lot of spaghetti on there, but that's what the quarterback sees. The quarterback sees a lot of things happen in front of him, and now he's not sure where to go with the ball, and he's got pressure, so he throws the ball up, thinking he's got a guy open, and you get the turnover, and that's how you get extra possessions and possession time. And then last but not least, once again, talking about how they coach these guys, watch this corner here. They're going to run a guy in behind, bring a guy across, and this corner's playing low, and he's going to get a high-low over here. He's going to trick this quarterback who's looking over here into thinking he's taking the low guy, and he's going to bait him, and then he's going to fall in underneath and make the interception. And it's textbook coaching, and that's how you develop guys. So that quarterback right now sees him low, tries to throw it in behind, and he folds in knowing exactly what he's looking at and how to read patterns and how to trick people into doing what they want to do.
Looking forward to seeing his team out there, and it's going to be a special moment when Coach Campbell runs onto the field for his first home game. Some of the collateral damage in this process is the 2026 recruiting class. With so much uncertainty on early signing day, only 2 players signed with the Nittany Lions. A bunch of the previous commits end up following Coach Franklin to Virginia Tech, including Harrisburg running back Messiah Mickens.
Like he told me, he was like, if you be the first to commit to this class, you know what comes with that, who's going to follow behind you. So me just being a leader and just taking control, and like letting the guys know that, this is who we committed to play for, and nothing's going to change. We're just going to a different location, to a new spot, and we're going to change Blacksburg around a little bit.
So Messiah's teammate at Harrisburg, offensive lineman Kevin Brown, was also part of the original class. He's headed to West Virginia, and you can't blame the young men for signing elsewhere at the time. With the transfer portal, such a big part of the sport, some of these players could eventually wear the blue and white. Up next, our impact interview. Before Matt Campbell takes the field, he fields questions from the Penn State media. We keep the focus on the new guy, pick out some of his answers that reveal how he will be running this program.
This journey started on these very grounds, in these stands, with this community. West Shore Home was proudly made right here in Pennsylvania. We took a passion, a drive, and built a company that believes in hard work and success, just like this football team. Remember going to your first game? The roar of the crowd? The feeling of being part of something bigger? That's a feeling you never forget.
Bring that same feeling to your home with an extra $750 off, in addition to our current offer, by visiting westshorehome.com/PSU.
High above the mountains, luxury takes on a new meaning.
Where relaxation flows freely and naturally, and the only thing more impressive than the view is the hospitality.
From lavish suites to personalized amenities, this is where indulgence meets the mountains.
So whether you're here to unwind
or to wine and dine,
come to the Pocono Mountains.
It's luxury redefined.
Impact Interview is sponsored by the Pocono Mountains, where small-town charm meets big adventures. Book your trip today by visiting PoconoMountains.com.
We are back on Nittany Game Week. This is the time of the show where we usually bring in a guest to talk about all things college football and Penn State. But, nobody's more important right now than the guy that just got hired to take over the program. So we're going to stay focused on Matt Campbell. And before he takes the field for Penn State, he fielded a bunch of questions from the Penn State media. We pick out a couple that we feel really are telling and some things that you need to keep in mind. This guy's been in high demand for a number of years, 10 years at Iowa State, Coach of the Year 3 times in the Big 12. So he's received other offers. So to me, it begs the obvious. Why Penn State and why right now?
Number one is, if you're ever going to leave or you're ever going to move, it better be about your family. We're 2.5 hours away from home. To be able to have my father and my mother and my brother and my wife's family be able to come be a part of this journey with me, that means a lot. I think number two, I always said you want to be around great people. If we're going to lead, we want to lead with the best. It was one conversation with Pat and one conversation with Neely. I knew what their demand is, and they wanted to be the best for the right reasons. And then I think the last piece of it is, what do you want to stand for? And I think the hard thing for me ever wanting to leave Iowa State at times and getting close, but saying, it's just not the right time, is I never wanted to be that coach that was, I'm going to jump from job to job. Like, if we were ever to leave Iowa State, I wanted to go somewhere and I wanted to finish my career and I wanted to stand for something that's bigger than Matt Campbell. It's not about me, but about the players, and represents something bigger than myself. And I found that. And I couldn't be more humbled and more grateful for that opportunity.
I think you hear that answer, Todd, and you got to feel really good about what he stands for in terms of, he talked about his family first. And as a guy who raised his family in State College, there are very few places better than that. So obviously that was a major factor. But when you listen to him talk about something bigger than himself, he's not interested in coming. And it became very clear in his answers at the press conference that you and I were at, that the answers were not about what Penn State could do for him, but about what he could do for Penn State and why he felt this place was so special.
I also want to thank the great community and the alumni base and the former players who embraced us at Iowa State. They made it bigger than just winning football games. They made it about, serving a community, the impact of making a difference every step of the way. Our team GPA was a 3.4 team GPA the last two years at Iowa State. We had 100 players out of 120 that had over a 3.0 GPA, 54 of them over a 3.5. And you know when that showed? When it got really hard, when it got really tough in the fourth quarter. After a tough loss, our ability to respond was because our young men's ability to how they did anything is how they did everything.
Smart in the classroom usually means smart and making good decisions on the football field as well. Coach Campbell is open about the championship pedigree that he comes from as a player. Won 3 national championships at Division III Mount Union College. He knows the expectations. He's being brought to Penn State to win a national title for the Nittany Lions, and he says he's up to the challenge.
I've always said this, our scars are our superpower. And if you're humble enough to grow through success and failure, then you continue to put yourself in position to be the best. It's when we stop growing that failure starts to seep in. And so to me, we've had championship expectations every step of the way. You're talking to the guy that lost 1 game in 4 years of college and, has won 5 national championships. I don't care what level it is, it's a fact. And so the reality of it is from my end of it is your scars have built you for these moments if you use them wisely.
Impressive debut for Coach Campbell. You can see the entire introductory press conference along with all of our other Impact interviews at our website, nittany-game-week.com. Still to come, Tom hands out his scrap medal to the new coach's support staff. They go where he goes, and they make a lot of sacrifices for everything to work. We're heading into the final minutes on Nittany Game Week.
Nittany Game Week is brought to you by West Shore Home, official partner of Penn State Football.
Want to learn to ski? The Pocono Mountains is the place to be. With lessons for every age, you'll be skiing or snowboarding in no time. Learning is fun and the views are beautiful. Choose from 6 amazing ski areas. Learn more at poconoski.com.
These are more than just trucks. Every shipment moved by the R&R Express family of companies contributes to the Excel Foundation for Autism Research and Inclusion, funding safe spaces like the sensory room at Penn State's Beaver Stadium and a special event sensory trailer, and giving thousands that were unheard a voice.
Now is the time to amplify non-speaking voices and drive meaningful change.
These trucks are powered by purpose.
Scrap Metal is sponsored by Burke and Bradley Orthopedics. Located in Pittsburgh, Burke and Bradley Orthopedics is a comprehensive sports medicine practice, providing patients with the most current and innovative approaches in diagnosis and treatment.
Time for our scrap metal. Tom, you're going with a group of people that knows what it's like to sacrifice for the team.
Being a football coach is always tough on your family. So this week we recognize the Campbells. Matt Campbell said accepting the Penn State position was a family decision, and that's easy to believe when you see all of them together. It's difficult when so much time is dedicated to the job of preparing a football team to play. As Matt mentioned, his wife Erica is the rock, and his kids are a huge part of his support system. Welcome to Penn State, Matt, Erica, Katie, Izzy, Rudy, and Rocco.
It's trivia time. Joe Paterno holds the NCAA record with 24 bowl wins. Which 2 Big Ten teams have won more bowl games in their entire history than Paterno. Only USC and Ohio State have won more games than Joe. Michigan has 24, so technically tied. Our winner was Jake Turner of Mays Landing, New Jersey. Let's turn to this week's question. This week's question, Penn State has played in 3 previous bowl games in the Northeast. Which teams did Penn State beat in those cold weather matchups?
We are bringing PSU fans and alumni together with our Nittany Connect network at nittany-game-week.com, partnering with businesses that support the show, letting our viewers know about their great products and professional services. And of course, make sure to check out nittany-game-week.com for all of our web exclusive content, airtimes for all of our network of stations, previous episodes, and our impact interviews. All can be found at one convenient location, nittany-game-week.com. And don't forget your pride picks. We always finish the show with a few, so show us your spirit and submit those pictures on our website. For Jay and Tom, I'm Todd. Thanks so much for watching Nittany Game Week. We'll see you next time.
Every week, our groundskeepers are meticulously mowing, painting, repairing any damage from the previous game in preparation for Saturday. Our contributions to the team are providing safe playing surfaces for the athletes to showcase their abilities on. There's a lot of history here. Being able to be a part of that has been incredibly special for me.